a spirit. Be wary that you sit there thinking, I'm spirit, I need to meditate, this is it. You will be pushed over. Because then you become complacent. You have to engage in this world. Right? No one can get away with sitting on a mountaintop meditating or in a monastery. Most of us are engaged. 99.999% of the world is engaging with life. All right? And what you got to do then, this is important along the lines of what we discussed. You now inculcate the emotion and express the emotion that you wish to express. And what emotion would you like to express? It actually comes back to expressing love, compassion, kindness, in spite of person, people, situations, circumstances. Not just to selected few. There's various ways of expressing love. There's various ways of showing compassion. Every single moment people are looking for it. The mere fact as we in passing say, hello, how are you? And we get into the work, maybe we need to spend that split second more saying, hello, how are you? And truly connecting with someone at the emotional level. You set up the emotional landscape for what needs to be done. Not just for what needs to be done, with people that you may meet in passing. And you inculcate, by the way, how much love do you have to give? You and I have an infinite reservoir of love to give, regardless of situation. But all of us in here have closed up our taps. Why did you close up your taps? Because you got hurt like hell. You've been through pain, suffering, and you dare not trust. So that's why I wrote it. Unconditional love is the fact that you give the love regardless of the world you feel gives you justification and logic and rationality as to why you got to close it off. But because the only person you are damaging in the process is yourself. Because you are not feeling the love. The only person that you can feel it is you. You got to give it, you got to express it, you got to manifest on the inside that you are, not because of what the world you feel has made you into. You determine your way, you give the love. Give it and start with people you meet. The person that you notice cleaning the bathroom when you finish. The person picking up the plates after you've eaten. In fact, there's a story where Mandela goes for this amazing dinner at one of the top restaurants in the country. And one of the other leaders that were present says it was full with some of the biggest celebrities and leaders in the world at that restaurant. All had come to meet Mandela. And he noticed something particular about the man that stayed with him after that dinner. He says he showed and spent as much time with those, maybe the leaders at the table, as those who served them. He asked about them as he did about the person sitting next to him. That is true love. That's authentic love. It is not about being selective. It is about giving. I'm going to use the word indiscriminately. Yet being aware of the world. It's easy to, all of us gave love as youngsters, as innocent. And then we learn about the world, then we become selective. The idea is to give, yet being aware of how the world may deal with you. If you can, as Abraham Lincoln said, and a lady asked this of him, because this was the height of the Civil War, where the Americans were being killed by brethren, by family. Right? You had the North and the South. And a woman who probably may have lost her son in battle says, how dare you make friends of our enemies? And he says, by making friends, I have no enemies. So I'm paraphrasing what he's saying. By giving the love and compassion, he shifted the world. Yes, in the end, he was assassinated. Yet his legacy lives on in terms of the love and the difference he made to the world. It's about showing the compassion and kindness regardless, rather than saying it's acting in a way, what I'll say is quantum physics. Because quantum physics is where for every action, you open up to the infinite responses that you can give off. That means you choose from a plethora of how you will be. What we generally live by, though, is Newtonian physics. Because someone did to you, therefore I am in a negative situation. For every action, there's a reaction. In our case, it's a negative reaction. Refuse to be just the usual action, therefore react in a negative way. Rather than for that action that you feel someone's done towards you, choose from the infinite possibility of who you are. Why choose the same old, I'm going to say, boring story? Give love, and that will make you the most powerful, strongest person, not just in the room, in the world. Because you show you are not just a reaction to your circumstances. And that makes you the bigger person. And that allows you, what you're doing is you're allowing the universe to act through you. Rather than, I am a victim of people's situation and circumstances. And when you manifest that emotion, then at a mental level, you change your being. You change how you express. Logic and rationality is different. You see the world differently. How you talk shifts. You have now taken the entire picture into account when you give the answer. You will allow yourself to come from a more measured place. Again, the biblical expression, be quick to listen, slow to talk and anger. Manifest, because you are now seeing not the selected picture, you are seeing the entire picture. And you may say, wait a minute, what about physical? What you and I do is then we physically manifest the depth of love, compassion, and kindness. It will align with your life purpose. Whatever brought you here, whatever negative circumstance, situation brought you here, if you can see that in I'm going to use the word compassionate, maybe some would argue as a positive light, where you see the universe having conspired to create that situation to take you onto a far better journey. That's what you and I need to do. So rather than playing angry at what brought you here, victim what brought you here, depressed because it brought you here, anxious, irritated, frustrated, shift it. You were the best thing that happened to me because you were the kick up the butt that pushed me on a path less traveled but achieves more.
Amen.
Alright? So that way you determine the world around you, where you're coming from, and you determine where you are going to. You are driven by a more powerful entity within you that hasn't been touched, and you got to allow that to express itself to determine the world around you. Because all of us at an older age can choose to say, hey, I am because of this world, the people, the situation. That's what the stories we were telling all this time. But why do you not express who you truly are, independent of all these things that you feel hold you back? Brush yourself off, the shins and stuff. Get up. You may mope for a week, a second, a day, 2 days, but at some point you got to stop moping and say, I'm going to be strong, and I'm going to be resilient, and I'm going to persevere. And there was a time when you were like that, when you were a kid. Remember? You might have had a fight with your sibling, all right? I had 2 elder brothers. I always lost my battles with them. They had longer arms, longer legs. And they held me down. All right? And even though I'm older now, and I think I'm bigger than the one guy, right? I'm not going to say, come, let's have it out now. Why? But we forgot it back then. Right? I'd mope and cry and go to mom, yeah, sorry, wipe your eye, okay? And you get back and play because you dust yourself off, you moved on. But as adults, geez, we have memories and logic and rationality, and this should not happen, and that's the way it should be. We're all holding on to a story. Recognize that the universal story is far more powerful than the small story you and I are holding on to. Trust me, there's been a movie already made about that story we played out, and no one's going to watch it because they've kind of seen that ending 1,000 times. You and I need to create a far, far, far more powerful story. And that story then becomes where you're in cahoots with the universe, which is creating something, geez, this is completely unexpected, profound, unpredictable. And you and I need to embrace that story. that raises the energy levels, not just of you, but of the whole world. Because at the moment you know this, your current story drops your energy levels right down into your boots. Pick yourself up by the bootstraps and move forward. Let's create a different story where you're going to go. And yes, you will encounter pain, hardship, suffering, but it's for a greater purpose. And then sometimes the universe or whatever it is will test you. Again, brush yourself off and give that unconditional love in spite of. So you make who you are rather than letting the world make you.